right? These black MAGA supporters in 2025. If you're supporting MAGA in 2025, there's something seriously wrong with you, because these people are not consistent. Is depicting African American children as alligator bait. This was a common trope in American popular culture in the 19th and 20th centuries. The motif was present in a wide array of media, including newspaper reports, songs, sheet music, and visual art. They was loving it. The image of black children or infants being used as bait to lure alligators was widespread in white popular culture, often appearing in conjunction with other racist tropes. So this is very important here. There is no evidence in reliable primary or secondary sources that children of any race were used as alligator bait. So this is Wikipedia coping. We see this administration is trying to whitewash a lot of things that have taken place over the past couple of years, whitewash a lot of things that have taken place in the past couple decades, and whitewash a lot of the things that have taken place in the past couple centuries. They're taking down slave imagery, historic sites, taking down plaques out of historic sites. So, people are just going to forget about this history. But I find this very interesting that they start off by saying it was a popular trope. It was present in a wide array of media, including newspaper reports, songs, sheet music, and visual art. Okay, but then they go on to say that there's no evidence of this ever happening. That's very interesting. Well, why would they depict this if it wasn't happening? Okay, well, you could argue, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. You could argue that they just depicted it out of their imagination because they were so imaginative, right? So where's the argument that after depicting this in all of these areas of media, right? Song, sheet music, visual art, right? So it's all encompassing. It's like if you're not into sheet, you're not a sheet music connoisseur, you're not into visual art, don't worry, we got you. So assuming this was not a practice, people still saw it, and you're telling me nobody acted on it? No one saw that and said, hey, that's a great idea, I'm gonna use these N-words as alligator bait. Yeah, very believable. But that's Wikipedia for you. So let's go to Snopes. First Snopes article I've seen that doesn't have a true or false branding on it, which I find very interesting. It doesn't tell you if it happened or it didn't, but they have all this imagery. So you guys come to your own conclusion. Mammy's Little Alligator Bait. That was a popular song. This was great entertainment. They were loving it. Alligator bait. Alligator hunting was very profitable in the 1800s and 1900s. The skins were used to make shoes, belts, bags, and other items. However, white hunters often lost their arms and sometimes their lives as they rustled the swampy waters at night, attempting to attract alligators to the surface. So they decided to use slave babies as bait. This horrendous act was later characterized in sheet music. So very interesting now. Wikipedia mentioned how it was depicted in sheet music, cards, figurines, blah, blah, blah. But then it's like their paragraph is written backwards. It's written in reverse. They're saying, oh, it was depicted in all these forms of media and art, but there's no evidence that it took place. Whereas this is an excerpt from the time period, right? This is telling you in proper chronological order. It says the horrendous act was later characterized in sheet music, postcards, and figurines. Years later, a manufacturer of black licorice drops created a distasteful advertisement that featured a hungry-looking alligator leering at a bug-eyed black baby. The ad read, "A dainty little morsel." For decades, the popular candy was referred to as N-word babies, right? The name was later changed to Nibs and is still on the market today, right? Lest we forget the Black Holocaust Museum. Okay, so Nibs. Let's check this out here. Let's do a little deep dive. So we see all the imagery here. Never happened, guys. Never happened. These are all figments of everyone's imagination. So here we have Little African, a dainty morsel, licorice drops. Yummy, right? Happy little alligator, a little baby crawling away for his life. This is hilarious to these people. These people are sick, right? Dainty little morsel, licorice drops. and it was NIGGER babies, right? Which they abbreviated, and it became nibs, which are still on the market. Can you believe this? Still on the market. So, and it's Twizzlers nibs, literally licorice drops, right? So we come back here, right? Licorice drops. Licorice drops, right? Gator bait, dainty morsel. So this is the level. This is the level of evil. A dainty little morsel, licorice drops. Okay. So now when you see, this administration naming these detention centers as alligator Alcatraz, right? And this is in Florida, of all places, where this is rumored to have occurred. I say rumored because they were trying to whitewash it and pretend this never took place, right? These people are sick. As the jokes fly, alligator Alcatraz evokes racist trope of gator bait. Like this is legit. Like they have a sign, like this is legit. Michigan resident Chris Barrero was seen stretching an aged American flag across his back in the entrance of the Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport, known as Alligator Alcatraz. He stood alongside a friend to show support for newly constructed detention center. Right? So these people are sick. These people are freaking sick. So this whole thing right now, this whole LARP, like Christian, we're family. You see these people like, we saw the events that took place, which are completely terrible. Of course, no one's wishing death on people, right? Right? Especially, it was such a public and gruesome execution that took place. But to say these people are not promoting dog whistles, and they're very, they're not stupid, right? The way they push these ideas, they know that certain people's ears are going to perk up, and they know that the dumb, especially the black supporters of MAGA, they know that most of them are not intelligent enough to catch on to this, and they'll just support. A lot of them are, I mean, most of them are Uncle Tom, so they won't care either way. They see it as, oh, like I'm not one of those blacks. That's how they see it. If you saw the movie Django, that the guy that was at Candyland, the groundskeeper of Candyland, this is the same energy that these people have, right? These black MAGA supporters in 2025. If you're supporting MAGA in 2025, there's something seriously wrong with you, because these people are not consistent. They don't appear to have any sort of ethics, right? Ethical value. So at this point, it's just like a team sport. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna support this team, ride or die, right? It's just become a tribalist kind of team sport, right? There's no policy. The economy is going to complete rubble right now. The dollar is at it, or it hit its lowest that it's been in since a long time, right? Decades. Some would argue longer than that, right? So the dollar's not doing well. The tariffs are kind of backfiring. You see China, they're like, okay, well, you guys are going to tariff us. Well, we're not buying beef from you anymore. So they're buying Australian beef. And people in China are saying, hey, it's cheaper and it's better quality beef, because American beef is notorious for not being good quality. Americans don't know that because they think they have the best everything. But, the facts are the facts. It's just become a massive circle jerk of white supremacy at this point, and they're just leaning into it because they see that there's no backlash, right? There's no pushback. The other side, like, I'm not even a leftist, I'm not even left wing, but I'm just observing. I've reclused myself completely from this whole thing, and I'm just gonna watch it play out. But I do see, like, there's almost no pushback from the left wing. They're almost scared. They're frightened of these people because these people are completely nuts. I mean, I don't blame them, right, for being a bit worried. We saw the huge doxing campaigns. These are people who were complaining about cancel culture, and they were against, canceling people, doxing. They were saying the left wing is crazy, and they're engaging in the same behavior.